Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is a reading video. I I fell asleep and then I woke up again. Uh, so I still wanted to do the reading. I have some decks for this video. Some I haven't used for some time. So I'm still using the 42 Green Tarot in here. In the um, Hutzil Tarot, then the Angel Tarot, and this is the Mysteries of Mary Tarot. I haven't used this in a while. I was happy when I received the book for this as a gift from one of the tarot readers that created this deck. Now this deck is in a museum in Italy. So it is a special deck, and everything is like all put together and just, and the other ones are well thought out too. So I was trying to work the laundry, um, or the washer machine earlier. It was, it had its regular functions, but it was determined to be on like a cleaning function. But I didn't get that signal until after my clothes got like soaked in the washer and there was still laundry detergent, so I still had to wash the stuff off. And I did make the cake in one night, the Medovic, or the honey cake. You're supposed to wait for the cake to um, absorb the frosting. I did for maybe 2 hours and then I ate a slice. It was still yummy. The bottom of the deck is the High Priestess. feel like with the Hutzel Tarot, because it's so closely based off of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, uh, it tends to be a more direct deck that it doesn't really have anything that goes around the topic type of deck. Now this one popped out. The Wheel of Fortune. That's an interesting one to get right now because I was getting like a specific message about making something. Making something that'll help like benefit you. Maybe it could help with the well-being or your well-being. It does seem to be like an action type of card right now. And it seems like kind of momentous too. That goes with it. Like it's has to do with like the present or no time like the present to do this. So it could be resourceful since the Wheel of Fortune can be associated with those things. But the Wheel of Fortune also has energy that tends to pivot here and there. Not all the time, it depends on the context of the reading, and even some interpretations can be linked to uh like in the casino where you have the thing that you press on. Again, it's not always. I feel like with this Wheel of Fortune, there is something about using the resources and using it because it's like a well kept resource, or a resource that you make sure that you use it when it's not unnecessary. Like right now, it feels like it's making something and being um, conscious about those decisions. Because it looks like there's in this deck, and I love that interpretation, it's a spinning wheel. And the book that I was given, it has to do with the stories that are associated with the cards. And with this, it seems like the High Priestess that came out earlier, it tends to be in the feminine. I'm not reading for gender, but if you're thinking about those associations and pairings with tarot, you could link it to the Magician too. Like the Empress with the Emperor type of situation. Um, the High Priestess also has her coral, and that can be associated with the feminine too. And even on the Wheel of Fortune card, it has like a coral color here. And for some reason, there's something that's coming out with the High Priestess that tends to be knowing but not revealing everything that you know. That could be part of the mystery, and with the mysteries of Mary too. Um, Maybe even linked to the divine, if you will. And with the head wrap here, and then traditionally you have the symbolism of the high priestess, and um, thinking, well, the symbolism of a veil and some things not being revealed of what is beyond that. It's almost like thinking and uh, seeing what to make of it. With the King of Wands and the Four of Cups here, The Four of Cups isn't a card that comes out super frequently, but I have seen it come out a couple times. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm thinking there's this one conversation that I had with my friend, and it's definitely, well, we thought it was funny, but no, it was something that's definitely, well, mm, one of those type of comments or conversations that you would probably get in trouble for in class or something. But for the, I'll bring it up near in passing. But it is, I don't know, it's definitely not like a super necessary thing, but maybe in a way, since it keeps like coming up in my head. But with the King of Wands and the Four of Cups, as I was saying with the Four of Cups, it can even be like the upper hand too, because that fourth cup, or however you think about the sequence, there is this one cup that stands out. And you don't always have to have that one cup that is presented to you in a reading. Again, it depends on the context, but it really does feel like ending up choosing that cup. And sometimes that cup doesn't always get chosen. It might be like one of those things where, again, with the High Priestess energy not being told or not being um, able to see what lies past certain moments in time, and based off of the things that have happened, you're thinking I should probably choose the other cups. But it's almost like something in there, and maybe like a toolbox, or um, grabbing something that you've had that you haven't really used, but you've used every other resource that you've had for a while. It's just like, well, it wouldn't hurt to try this. It's already in my toolbox or my arsenal. And it turns out to be like one of the most useful things, or things that could really keep things intact in a way. I'm saying specifically intact. There is the energy of like fire, and be with the King of Wands, and being able to have that. So one of like the movies that was coming up is like Robin Hood. I don't know all the movies, but just in general, like there's the Lionheart, but with, and you could maybe associate that with the King of Wands, but I feel like there is the energy of being able to fight for the greater good of the whole, instead of, there seems to be other actions that um kind of go against what humanity is is like supposed to be. You can have different definitions of what humanity is supposed to be, but there's like the energy of wanting to have that um leadership, and fighting for the greater good of the whole situation and of the whole. There's 3 and 3 for the present and then the future. So there's the 3 of Pentacles for the present and the 3 of Cups for the future. There's something that has like an energy of being in unison. And I was trying to see if like this shadow, it seems like so meticulously placed here on what it could mean. And for right now, I do feel like it could be linked to the 3 of Cups and with people being on the same page, because the 3 of Pentacles also notes of like being able to work together to complete a task at hand. Because it's not one person doing all the heavy lifting, but it does seem like people are putting in a good amount of work. And even in the 3 of Cups, well, it's the Cups suit, but there's the vase or cup there, and then there are like jugs represented here too. And with the High Priestess, I feel like it is promising because there could have been something that happens that is not um, of the best of times, but in those types of circumstances, you have the how to overcome the obstacle. The obstacle is the Death card, Major Arcana, and that is like kind of major. Well, it is major movement coming out of the Major Arcana. Then there's Minor Arcana. If I don't mention, well, the High Priestess and Wheel of Fortune are Major Arcana, but the other ones are Minor Arcana. It isn't something that you haven't seen before. And it's almost like changing the gears. And with the spinning wheel, you have that too. A lot of times with older machinery or even manual machinery, you can see the visible gears and turns of things. And working with that, you do have the wheel that goes one way or the other way. One way is to spin the yarn one direction, and then if you're going the other direction, you'll be able to ply multiple yarns or combine multiple of the strands together, because if you try to spin all of them in the same direction, it won't hold. So it's a combination of movements, and that's what I'm feeling like it is with the Wheel of Fortune. This time it's not the most straightforward, but at the same time it is, with the type of movements and even machinery that can be used of what you would expect it to be. So, um, with the Eight of Pentacles and the Three of Wands, another 3 here. I don't see the Three of Swords right now. The Three of Swords tends to not have the best connotations, but in a way, when you think about the further future, it is something that helps you heal. And the Eight of Pentacles is one where it's an experienced person, like worker in the field, or there's the type of um, education or years of experience that goes in this, or even if you don't have years of experience, it isn't unusual to know what to do in these circumstances. But there is like the energy of waiting too. Like it almost is like waiting on an investment or waiting for those actions to really come forward to give you the results. But there is more of like the predictability, and with the high priestess too, of knowing that there is a likely chance that this will be successful. And as I say that, there's the star card here. And I know sometimes, like, I get these cards, and it might be like, man, these are like great cards to get. Are you sure? These are the cards that are coming out, and the energy doesn't seem to be, like, I'm not trying to go against the grain and saying something just because I feel like it's a happy thought to say, but the past is the Two of Pentacles. So there could have been like the rockiness, like if you're um maybe in a work environment or not, like it could be an everyday environment where you're living your life and something pops up and you're like, that's not good. Um the Star card, Major Arcana, is like a super promising card too, because it could see and maybe even feel those moments of change, or these movements are of the utmost importance, and there's something about it being essential, like this specific movement of way of doing things. um Again, something that takes time, because when you're trying to make yarn, it can take time. Even when you're spinning wool, it takes time to prepare the other natural fibers too. Like if you're using plants, or if you're making something out of flax, that also requires more skill too, because with flax you have to, well, prepare the flax, and then it's a fast movement when you're spinning that specific fiber. So you have to know how to control your wheel, or else it's probably going to take a while. It does take a while in general. I don't know if this could lighten the mood, and it's probably not, like, well, it's definitely not appropriate, but because it's just like, well, this is definitely TMI, so if you're not looking for, because I feel like at this point, if you watch this, and when I say TMI, it's probably like major TMI, but like when you're on your period, and then the conversation's like, man, it's like, I'll just say whale, like, or wussy, because It's like whale vagina because it's a mess down there. And that was like basically the conversation of that whole thing. And if you're one to use pads or something, um, I didn't know this, but the hospital pads are even bigger than the nighttime pads because I know nighttime you would think that you would use it at nighttime, and yes, that is true, but it's also nice to like maybe use it on those the heaviest days, which are like the earlier days. And um the first time I sorry, the first time I saw one of the nighttime pads was like at work when um the owner's like, if you need something for the bathroom, just take it. And so, well, the owner at the pharmacy, and then I took one of the nighttime pads because it was it's a small, it's not like it's great that it was like a mom and pops type of place. But there weren't any, well, there wasn't a large selection of them. So I just chose the nighttime pads. And then I brought it to the back and I opened it up and I didn't realize how long it was because I've never seen them before. But I think they're really great, especially for like, again, as I said, the first maybe like 1 or 2 days when the flow is like the heaviest. And I guess maybe that'll be the end of my TMI. But there's a couple of major arcana here too. Let me see. So these cards, there's three other major arcana. So from this deck, there's the Wheel of Fortune, and then I turned over the minor arcana card, the Ace of Cups, and I do love this deck. Um, there seems to be an energy of a little bit of like alchemy that's here too, which reminds me of maybe Aquarius, of it being the water bear. Even if it is an air sign, technically it has um, the symbol of the vase or the jug. So the three major arcana cards here, the Fool, respectively, the Lovers, and the Emperor card. So in a sense, there is a type of masculine and feminine. It's not like the combination I was specifically saying, but there's the High Priestess and then there's the Emperor card. There's something about this Fool card that feels like freedom in a way because of what the Fool is. It's like the beginning and the end of the Major Arcana. It has the numerical value of 0, so you start with the Fool and you end with the Fool. It's continuous. And it does feel like there is an energy of having like this type of journey. And there's some smaller animals here. There's the lamb that she's holding, and the rabbit, and there's birds. So it almost feels like it's tending to, like if you're kind of tending to your animal, and it doesn't have to be an animal, but there is like that responsibility there. This might be a shorter cycle because of the rabbit. The rabbit you often have because of like the fertile cycle, it tends to be on the quicker side. But the lovers, it has the um sense of commitment that comes in, and we are in Gemini season. And it's the tree of choices. There could be something that goes with the whole high priestess here, because there's another jug here. And there's also the child here. So it can be family oriented too. Family relationship um, can take priority. Self care is even a priority, to take care of yourself in order for you to care for other people or a specific person or even community. Because, like with the Fool card and the Lovers, it looks like there's responsibility and maybe like tending the future for that, for them, and for you. Even this card, too, it has another um, depiction with the child and the father. So and it looks like giving what you have to give the best life, because you have the crowns there. A king is an aspect of the emperor, and with the Lovers card, it might not be even the most usual of scenarios where you have a relationship or you choose a specific path that might be like the beaten path. Um, it doesn't seem to be like the easiest to go through, but it seems to be definitely one that you can grow from. But there is like the loving energy that you get from the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Vessels. And then I have the last four cards. Oh, these cards seem to be like pretty like eager. Another High Priestess card. So there's 5 and 5 here. Um, Again, High Priestess, as I said. Archangel Haniel, listen to your intuition, have patience. Consider carefully what you want before acting. Then there's the 5 of Earth, 5 of Pentacles with 5 of Swords, 5 of Air. The first one that I pulled was the 6 of Air, 6 of Swords. Things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. So this might be having time to wrap your head around things and to think about different solutions. But with the 5 of Earth, the 5 of Pentacles, it tends to be linked to having less. And with the 5 of Swords, it can be linked to not necessarily doing something that you wanted to do. Like with the 4 of Cups, it doesn't seem like necessarily the first thing that would come to mind or the first thing that you would use from your toolbox. But the 5 of Swords is kind of like um, pulling that one thing out when it's absolutely necessary. So the 5 of Pentacles, fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. And then 5 of Swords, and I wouldn't be super worried about these because of the other cards that are coming up. And these are minor arcana too. So this might be like taking it a day at a time. I know like you, there will be instances or moments or long moments in time where you feel like there's this cycle of energy that you would like to have another way. But an unwise choice, learn what you can from the situation, review everyone's motives. So with the 5 of Swords, there is like that energy of, especially with the High Priestess, of knowing where somebody comes from or knowing the intentions that a person or people may have. And based off of what those are, it may be in the swords might be acting in self-defense because of that. So I'm gonna pull out a couple more cards and that'll be the reading. Okay, so there is the pairing here. The 4 of Cups comes up again. But it could also be like finding your way through that maze too in here. And it can also be like finding that place to really think about that right decision to make. And that could be where the Handmaiden of Distaff is coming from, or the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is one that may have to take time or still has some developing to do in terms of maybe the decisions that have to be made, or um, maybe even a plan to do them. It kind of reminds me of like the Hutzel Tarot too, because it is so, it's like such a direct deck, and I feel like I can be pretty direct too, um, trying to find those right words or those right moments to execute certain things, or how to say it or how to do it, because um, there's a lot of things that could go right. There could be things that might throw you off guard, or some things that could be expected from maybe circumstances that are more serious, or that have like different mechanisms to them. So there are major arcana cards, or the one major arcana card, but I feel like it links to this one. So the major arcana is the magician. The card, it says Maria Prophetessa. This is the Six of Cups. It does seem like that could be like the sense of teamwork that's coming out of it too. Like someone covers the ground and you cover the sky. There's something that is like that can see other things while your back is turned type of energy. So it seems like the dynamic is reliable, and since I have this combination, it looks like it could be with the lovers too. With the Emperor and the Fool card, those are newer energies, and the Ace is here too, with the Ace of Cups. Cups. Um, this could even be like a new slate, because with the Fool card, it looks like you're carrying the companion along, or there's something where you're helping take care of or having that sense of responsibility in that way. And then the Six of Cups, there can't, like, that link could have been linked for a while with this um relationship, or the thing that you're going through in life. But there's that commitment that comes along with it. So there does seem to be like a bump in the road, but they're like, or like a pushback or setback, but um it doesn't look like it's one that will hold you back, and it gets settled. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.